coming up. Oh, I already paused the music. Let's not start it again. Hello and welcome Game of Dota 2. We are here with Group B for the RedBull Esports Champions League, and we're gonna see which one of these two teams will take the point that is up for grabs. It is a group stage with 6 teams where everybody faces each other once. You are watching a Beyond the Summit presentation, and with me today is Vickermont. Welcome to the broadcast, and first pick Wisp for LGD International, who is on the Radiant side this game, and RisingStars on the Dire side.
Yeah, RisingStars let it go through. So LGD.int, a team that I don't think has quite as much IO practice as a lot of Western teams do, but it's still an extremely strong hero. I'm sure they'd love to deploy it in their toolkit. I don't know how much they've been scrimming and practicing with it, but honestly, it should be a strong pickup for them. RisingStars, though, they get the Alchemist, almost prioritized higher than Gyrocopter is these days as a carry, but those are really the two that are at the top of the heap currently. LGD just mostly taking out the two, I would say basically the two most commonly used mids these days almost, or at least two of the strongest mids. Dragon Knight, who goes into a multi-core strategy and can just use that lane to farm, and OD, who just crushes the lane. But yeah, LGD seizing the other very strong carry. We were just talking about Alchemist and Gyrocopter. Here LGD takes the Gyro. And this is a good pair with IO as well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think we've all seen YouTube clips with, you know, Gyrocopter almost dying, getting saved by the Wisp, and then they go to the fountain and come back with BKB, turn on a flak cannon and a rocket barrage, and everybody dies, you know. It has happened before, in pubs, I guess, but you can have hope. You can have hope. I'm kind of curious, like, LGD, like you said, they ban out 2 common mid-heroes, and it's almost like they want to force out a certain mid-hero from RisingStars with that. Of course, we still have the Puck and the Queen of Pain in the pool, and perhaps we're going to see one of those two there, but there is a slight possibility, I think, that we might see a CK still picked up, and then with an IO miss, a Wisp IO CK mid, rather. What do you think about that possibility?
It certainly is possible. It depends on what the mid matchup happens to be. We've been seeing a lot of teams move away from forcing the CK with the IO and just relying on general good combinations rather than the extremely solid combination, but LGD could go either way with that. They absolutely could run CK-IO dual mid. Depending on even the matchup, if RisingStars ends up using something like an Alchemist mid, they could even run Gyro against the Alchemist in a CK-based tri-lane. It's still an option for them. It's something that RisingStars is going to have to seriously give consideration to banning, regardless of whether it's in LGD.int's plans. And that's the strength of picking these first 2 heroes this way.
Yeah, they ban out the OD. We have actually a Sand King banned out here. So we have seen a couple of Sand Kings today, actually making quite a bit of a difference as well, having some brilliant burrow strikes. But yeah, there goes the disable as well, the Jakiro. It's kind of a shame, like we have seen Jakiro today, of course. Though not on the winning side, I believe.
It's mostly, usually, the only time we saw the Jakiro, I believe, or at least the only time I saw the Jakiro was when they first picked Darkseer and then immediately picked the Jakiro afterwards. And they just didn't really execute as well as you'd want to do with that combination. But when something like this happens, when a team secures the Darkseer in the first phase, it makes a lot of sense to use Jakiro for one of your second phase bans to take out that combo.
And the Chen, the Misery Chen gets banned out here last for RisingStars, and of course they have the opportunity to instantly pick up a hero. So perhaps they want to secure themselves the Enchantress, something that LGD might also want to go for. But they go for Rubik instead, so having themselves one of the remaining setup supports, so having that telekinesis there. Also, of course, to allow Alchemist to come in range faster, to allow him to, or to give him a little bit of time to set up his stun for a while longer. And yeah, all overall, a very sturdy, good support.
Yeah, I really like RisingStars' lineup. I mean, if you have precise coordination, you can actually vacuum into an unstable concoction, hitting everybody.
Yeah.
It's pretty tricky to land, but that can be an absolute devastating move. Rubik, of course, as you mentioned, Shiver, the telekinesis helps set up the unstable concoction as well. Talking a lot about this ability, but it really is a big part of what makes Alchemist tick. It's such a strong stun with a maximum stun duration of 4 at max rank is just tremendous. It's AoE, even though it's in a very small AoE, and it does very good damage. He already brings de-armor with the acid spray, so it's a high damage, high AoE stun that they can use for great effect. Usually when we see that, Gyrocopter will go a pretty fast BKB to try to avoid getting locked down too hard. And Puck is a nice pickup here as well. The idea is he tries to feed on the Rubik, as well as silencing the Alchemist and Darkseer at critical junctures as well. And G likes playing this hero.
Yeah, and if you're talking about, you know, vacuum into the stun of Alchemist and such, you're talking about teamfight, and of course Puck, one of the great controllers of teamfights, or should I say disruptors of teamfights, because if he jumps in and silences, RisingStars is not going to be able to initiate the way that they wanted to, and that could give LGD International the chance to initiate for themselves, and of course overall a strong mid hero as well. And they combine it with a lifestealer, and look at the mobility of LGD International. They've got a relocate, they've got an infested lifestealer that can tag along, they've got a Puck that has an orb, gets himself anywhere as well, and of course Standard builds a blink dagger as well, and then Gyrocopter with a tether there, and all of a sudden, you know, the whole LGD International team is elsewhere. So yeah, very mobile.
It's very mobile. I really like how this lineup's coming together from LGD. It has a lot of different ways of dealing damage. It has a great lifestealer delivery vehicle in the form of the Puck. As long as G has a pretty good game in the mid, which RisingStars doesn't really have a mid destroyer, you could see that LGD.int actually set themselves up for this in some respect by banning out 2 mids early. 2 mids that are both pretty good against Puck, the Dragon Knight and the Outworld. Actually, in retrospect, this is very much a lineup trying to set up Puck, because both of these bans are targeted at clearing the space for the Puck to have a good game. And so as long as he does, as long as he gets a quick Blink Dagger, there's your lifestealer getting to every fight, with potentially an IO Gyrocopter on top of you. They can get farm in all the lanes, they can generate a lot of pressure. I think this is a very scary lineup for our stars, and their tri-lane is going to have to execute very well to make sure they don't get off to an early deficit.
And you know what I would really like with the LGD International's lineup? And I know they already got 3 cores. Oh god, never mind. I was gonna say Nature Prophet. How about that, right? Great minds think alike. Thank you, RisingStars. I'm boxing the screen right now to you. So, we've got ourselves a Nature Prophet band out. But yeah, that would of course offer more global potential. I mean, a Tinker could do that too, but I mean, Nature's Prophet at least could go into the jungle, and you know, Tinker, he can do Ancients, and we've seen it before. Not to very great success though, but it can happen, but not going to be the same feel to it. We have a Razor ban out for something that's super annoying. You want to have the lifestealer just go in and hit things rather than getting forced back because he has to break the static link. And that's going to be the
not
ban
a bad. The Razor ban is not bad at all. I don't know if our stars would have gone for it, but it would certainly be an option for them. It's something that can do very well against Lifestealer, shut him out of the game in some respect if it has a good laning phase. That would really be what our stars would shoot for if they took that pick. Laning it would be a little bit awkward, but they could make it work, especially if they ran Alchemist mid or something.
Yeah, Alchemist mid, I like it. It has worked before. They pick up a Weaver last. We've seen Weaver actually mid as well. A few times.
Yeah,
I'm not expecting it here. Yeah, but
it's too scary against Puck. What if you just get Waning Rifted and you just die? It's very, very risky.
If they want to go super greedy, they could place the Nyx Assassin mid Weaver on the off lane and put a Darkseer in the jungle. But yeah, I think Alchemist mid is probably the right choice there.
Yeah.
It would be a very greedy lineup.
It would be greedy to the point where I don't see them not falling apart in lane, unfortunately. I mean, we might see the Darkseer in jungle anyway, but it would be something like safe lane Tri-Lane and jungle Darkseer and mid lane Alchemist. The other option is aggressive try, Darkseer mid, Weaver solo safe. Darkseer mid is aggressively mediocre against Puck, but he probably doesn't die.
No, you should be able to stay alive. Let's see what LGD goes for though, because Nature's Prophet, of course, banned out. You could expect another secondary support. We still have an Enchantress in the pool if they want to send something into the jungle. But with the lineup that they have, Enchantress, I mean, it's not really going to offer that much more. I mean, go for early pushes is not really something that, like early lane dominance with help of creeps, it's not really something that they can really do. They pick up the Earthshaker instead. I like the choice. Fisher always strong. They have to be careful though to not block their own heroes with it. So positioning is going to be important for Misery, and of course that Weaver. Just stop him, stun him, and make sure that his Shikushi is going to be off cooldown by the time that the Fissure stun is over, and you know he can't escape no matter how fast you are. You can't run over a Fissure.
Yep. It's kind of like Heaven. You can't run from it, and you can't run from Fissure.
Yep.
I really like the idea of area controlling that they pick up with this ES pick. I think as long as Misery doesn't fall tremendously behind on levels to the point where he'll just be food. Like if the Weaver kills the Earthshaker early in the backlines in every fight, then you're not getting that much equity out of your Earthshaker pick. But I like this. I think it's better for lanes. I think if they find themselves laning against the Weaver, Weaver's going to have to sit very far back and be very careful.
I think so too. Let's see who's playing what. So we have Zautuji playing the Alchemist this game. Carry role for him. XDD on the Rubik. They won't. They think like that someone is around here, but everybody is not here for LGD International. We have Super, not to be confused with the DK Super, but this is the RisingStars Super playing the Nyx Assassin, and that's gonna be our tri lane there. We see Air picking up the Weaver, and he is gonna go mid, I think. And that will mean XCT on the Darkseer on the off lane. So farming up on the Alchemist and mid lane Weaver.
That is what it looks like. They've pooled him a lot of gold too. So the Tangos and the Healing Salve, which certainly suggests that the Weaver will be either mid or even off lane. But looking up towards LGD.int, it looks like they'll be running an aggressive tri-lane with Brax on the Gyrocopter, Misery on the Earthshaker, and 1437 on the Io. Actually, a possible clash developing. It depends on where they place the Fissure. If they place it well, they can... no. They decide not to. And we do have Brax rotating actually into the solo safe role on the Gyrocopter. That'll mean that Pycat on the Lifestealer fills out this tri-lane. And, of course, in the mid we have G on the Puck.
Yeah, and I think up against the Weaver, I mean, it's quite nice. Both heroes are fairly evasive. Of course, one with the phase shift, the other one with Chikushi. And I think they will be okay up against each other. I'm quite curious to see how Air actually does against this G, because we know that G's puck, you already mentioned it, it's a very strong puck that he has. So I don't think I've ever seen him go up against the Weaver, and I'm curious to see how he does. I think it will be fairly even though. Nobody really should be killing each other off until a bit later on.
I feel as though... that's a good point. If Pycat has a decent enough time up here that he feels comfortable having Misery leave for a bit, I know 1437 and Misery really like their roaming ganks early on, especially around the 2-minute mark. A well-placed Fissure blocking off the Dire side mid-stairs, I feel means dead air.
Yeah, wow, that sounded like you just meant dead air, as in sky.
Ah, as in the left for dead level, yes.
Yeah. But, yeah. Oh well, dead air. That's something that LGD International wants to see, of course. But so far, Pycat not really left to his devices just yet. He is going to be getting most of the last hit so far. I mean, you can't really compare it yet, but in terms of freedom to farm, Pycat should be doing okay. Zautuji should be having a bit of a tougher time. On the bright side for him, his supports can still pull and stack because that is not blocked. And maybe it was actually because there's only one observer ward left standing for LGD, and I believe they're... Oh no, actually no. It wasn't warded yet. So maybe they can do it now. Maybe they can do something there.
Interesting game so far. I feel not really that much advantage generated in any lane for either team so far. G hasn't really been able to put that much pressure on Air, so Air is doing quite well here, 9 for 1 to the 11-3 for 3 for Puck. So you're happy with that performance on Weaver. XTT once again on his Darkseer. I mentioned that this is probably his best hero, or at least one of his favorites, and he's doing quite well again. He's doing what I typically see him do, which is pull the opposing creep wave into the jungle and farm both. Fairly not an unusual tactic for Darkseer, but XTT very good at it. And then the tri-lane, LGD haven't really generated that many opportunities yet. Lifestealer is farming okay.
Oh, Fissure, XTD, open wounds, he can't get out, there's a tree in the way. Oh, there's actually a slight path there. But XTD, it doesn't matter, he'll still go down. Pycat with the first blood. And that's going to be Misery going down as well, though. The support's coming in from behind. Nyx Assassin with the last hit. Pycat
1437
in some trouble. Gonna be a stun up on 1437. He still has a tether. If he can find just a friendly creep. No, he goes down. Hello, Air. Congrats on your kill. That's 2 for 1, of course. The kill still goes to Pycat on the first blood, but losing 2 supports for it, questionable. And normally I'd say it's okay-ish, but giving Air that pickup, that kill, puts him very much in favor in this middle lane.
Yeah, I'd say that's not a good trade for LGD, and they secure the first blood, but in the aggressive try, actually, G is in a tremendous amount of trouble here.
Pops the bottle, pops the self, air though. You could try to dive this. He has got the Shikushi
doesn't want to
still.
take too much tower damage.
Well, TP incoming for the IO. And actually gets cancelled. Just to scare him away. In the meantime, top lane, Pycat. Trouble. But the tether was there. And the Fisher was, yeah.
I don't feel that LGD will be happy with, especially, yeah, like you said, the fact that they fed Weaver a kill and the 2-for-1 trade. When you're in the aggressive try, you generally want to be doing one of two things. Either you hold their farm back so much that you gain strategic advantage through that, or you rack up kills. So far, they are preventing Xiao2G from farming, and in fact, you see him once again going the non-Greevil's Greed path.
Yeah.
But they're not really getting the kills.
Oh, open wounds up on Xiao2G. The tether stun already there. Here comes XCD. Looking for telekinesis, perhaps. Fisher, though. And this is going to be a very scary low life Alchemist. He's charging up a stun. Will be able to land it, but the rage is there for Pycat. Looking for Super. Super has got an Impale. Can turn around and land it, but gets tether stunned. There's the Impale still. Pycat, can he get himself out of this one? He does help with the kill on the next assassin, but is totally blocked in and will end up going down. Rubik with a double kill after picking up the IO. He takes the kill on the carry. And it got a support in return, but again, not a favorable trade for LGD International. This time, not even with the extra first blood money that they get.
Right, losing Pycat, they went in very deep. I feel like they thought the kills would maybe come quicker. And I gotta say, I kind of thought the kills would come quicker, and that would let them get those kills and walk out still with the tether movement speed bonus, but instead they actually lose a little bit more. The good news is, Brax is farming great. I mean, he's got 32 for 11, that's quite good. He's had to make almost every single last hit under the tower, so when you consider that, the fact that he's missed 1 or 2 last hits here and there is not a big deal. And he's farming far better than either the Weaver or the Alchemist are for our stars. So despite the 4-2 kill line, I think LGD are okay. The one issue is that Lifestealer is a little underlevel.
I guess that's one of the upsides of having a dual core. Oh, stun. Just harassment. But a dual core, if you don't really win your off lane, as long as you buy time for your safe lane to farm up, you should be okay-ish. And in the meantime, also G in the mid lane, in terms of last hits, getting ahead of Air. 28 for 6 on G, with Air sitting on 22 to 5. The difference is not that big, and especially if you consider that Air did get that kill. But it's still big enough for G to feel fairly comfortable on the lane. He is level 6, Air sitting at level 6 as well, but G slightly ahead and almost getting level 7.
Yeah, I do think that this mid-Weaver has worked out pretty well for RisingStars. Yeah. My only sort of question would be, if they had the Weaver in the tri-lane and the Alchemist middle, I don't see that that wouldn't be just as good if not better, simply because Alchemist can still last hit. It's not trivial for Puck to kill him either, and Weaver matches up a little better against Lifestealer. But I don't want to question them too much, since I honestly think this is working out okay for them as well. And the Weaver in particular, like, has gotten a kill, hasn't really been any pressure on him, and he's getting fine farm.
Oh, it's gonna probably be okay for the tri-lane for RisingStars as well. I mean, they're getting ahead here. So they're doing okay. And they're basically having a good mid lane, as you already pointed out. They're having a good safe lane. And their offlane is doing okay as well. I mean, it's a Darkseer. He can tower skip those creeps. He is 31, now 32 for 0. Some of those last hits are jungle creeps, but they're the big jungle creeps. So he's doing quite well. And I think RisingStars is going to be fairly happy with the situation they're in right now. And we'll just be happy with the way things go. And we might actually see Super and XCD rotate if they feel like Xiao2G, now that he has got his Chemical Rage, can stand on the lane by himself.
The difficult thing for our stars is I'm not sure that even with Chemical Rage, Alchemist is all that safe. Especially if they land a long-distance Fissure on him. The Fissure will probably stun him for long enough that Lifestealer with Tether movement and Phase Boots can walk up and get the open wounds off. And then I think Alchemist dies without help. And what this means is that the supports... Actually, the supports of both teams are basically stuck here, in my opinion, largely. So what that means is that Brax is completely free to work. It does mean that Air is free to work, but eventually this Gyro is going to become a serious problem for our stars to deal with. And right now they don't have the tools to deal with it.
Yeah, and Air, he's actually going on G right here. Let's see how much damage he can do. He orbs towards the other side and finds Misery to help out. The Rune was on the bottom lane. Double damage going the way of XCT. Can't really get anything done with it against Brax. But it's gonna at least be taking it away from the Puck. Who should in theory have superior rune control than the Weaver, even though Weaver is definitely not a bad one for that either.
Puck has a ability to clear the waves slightly faster and push them into the Weavers, so if Weaver contests rune control, which he's okay at, he gives up a lot of positional ability and possibly damage on the tower.
Yeah, we've got a rotation though. I mean, G is sitting on the top lane. I'm not quite sure if he can make something happen. He does have a Dream Coil. He's level 8. And if he sticks around for much longer, he's not going to be useful at all. And he's just losing time. Now look at that. Ping goes out. They've seen him. They know that he's there.
Yeah, this is not a successful rotation for G. Gives Air some room, although Air just went back to Fountain to get some, I think, just refill his mana. I don't think it's that bad for Puck not to get a kill there. The fact that RStars spotted it is a little bit of a double-edged sword, because, well, not really, but they stay safe, but honestly his presence there forced Xiao2G off the lane, which it's not a very visible effect, but it's a significant one, especially when you're in the aggressive trial lane and you're behind on XP.
Yeah, Pycat sitting on 39 for 13. So 2G 25 to 5. So being up in an aggressive trial, and he is doing okay in comparison. Of course.
Gonna try a kill.
Oh, what kind of kill? Impale. Pycat. Trouble. Pycat. Yeah, well, that's a kill. No, it's not. No, it's not yet. Pops the stick charges. Is it gonna be enough? Is the question. They were chasing him down. 2 hits. That's gonna be Air getting the kill, and 1437 will go down with him. Cooldown actually comes down from Brax, but just scaring them away. And the TP out was there, or the walk away rather was there for Misery. Puck's still around here, or back here.
Invis rune.
Invis rune. Let's see if he can make something happen. The TP's come back here. Io could be landing a brilliant tether stun from behind if he tethers up on. Oh, never mind, he's dead. That was just very painful. Brax in a lot of trouble. 5 heroes here. G walks himself out. Has got that Dream Coil. Doesn't want to use it. Has not got an orb anymore. Goes for the silence. Gets a bit of a ras. Still has the orb again. And can't phase shift in time though. And goes down as well. LGD International. It feels like they are kind of slacking a little bit.
I wouldn't say they're slacking necessarily. I don't know. The aggressive trialing with the IO probably needs more intercession from Puck earlier to actually make something happen, because if Io's behind on levels, then he can't bully with spirits, and just in general you kind of lack for tools other than a well-placed long-distance fissure for Lifestealer to make a big impact. Additionally, considering the fact that this is not the strongest aggressive tri-lane of all time, they've acted like it is. Like, they keep going in really, really hard. That's the 3rd time they've gone in with a more or less unfavorable positioning, and consequently, it's the 2nd time Pycat's died.
Yeah, and just for 1437, just, you know, getting killed off the moment he got spotted. He was level 3 at the moment of initiation. He just turned level 4. But because this aggressive trial lane is just not really working out for LGD International, they've got 2 level 5s and a level 4 here. While RisingStars is sitting on a level 8 and 2 level 6s. That's some major differences. You've got yourself a Vendetta. Of course, Super only got level 6 after that fight, has to be said. But he's got a Vendetta now. Rubik can steal skills, spells, and RisingStars just overall, over the entire board, now getting massively ahead. Also, because of course that top fight had Brax rotating, and he didn't get anything off it, but he gave up farm.
Yeah, he didn't die, but the good news for LGD, oh, actually neat, they are going to get the open wounds on XDT when he doesn't have a surge, but is there the follow-up damage before he just gets out? There's the Dream Coil. I think they do get the Darkseer. Nice.
They do. Nicely done indeed.
That's a good kill. They're gonna need more of those, because yeah, the tri-lane failed, and the Gyrocopter did get farm. Misery. This is gonna be a big fight.
Yeah, cooldown comes down, Flak Cannon, Rocket Barrage doing quite a bit of damage. Brax, can he get a triple kill here? 1 dead, 2 dead, 1 hit to go. Super triple kill for Brax, yes or no? I think yes, 1 hit and the boots are there. Triple kill. And most importantly, like, triple kill, awesome. But he was alone. Solo experience for him.
Yeah, he's now rockets ahead to level 11. He rocket barrages ahead to level 11, in fact. And that puts at least Brax in a great position. The rest of the team is struggling, but we sort of said that if RStars leave Gyrocopter alone for a while, he's going to become pretty scary. And you saw it there. That was a very, very well-placed call down. Yeah. He followed it up correctly. And that sets LGDN a lot less behind than maybe they felt before that happened.
Yeah, and I just want to say again that he got level 11 out of that fight. That's insane. Second highest right now is the Weaver, sitting only just at level 10, so he is almost a full 2 levels ahead because he is reaching level 12 fairly soon. So very nicely done by Brax. LGD International, he definitely needed that. Pycat is going to free farm some on the bottom lane, trying to get his levels and farm up a little bit more. Of course, he didn't get that much on the top lane, as we already pointed out. And the supports need to do the same thing. They need to find some place to farm, but most importantly, they need to find some place to get levels. We have a level 5 up on the IO. It's not bad, but he needs to get his level 6 up. Those relocates, they should be starting to happen with Brax now that he is ahead. They can use that and they can try to find kills. Of course, Earthshaker levels maybe are a little less important because he already has got his Fissure level 3. But in his case, farm is actually quite nice to have because, of course, at some point you would hope that he has a Blink Dagger.
Right. It's gonna take a while for Misery to be able to get a Blake after that aggressive try, but he's already doing a lot of work with just this Fissure. It's okay to leave him at 5. The issue for RStars is, once again, they're having a difficulty getting Xiaotuji to farm up and become a scary alchemist. They faced up against the aggressive try 2 games in a row. It's the second game in a row where the Greevil's Greed is quite late. Once again, it makes sense that he made that decision, but he does start from a vastly behind point, and LGD, the swap of Brax for Pycat, where Pycat now free farms the bottom, means that they're projecting a lot more force in this top lane onto RStars, and it's up to RStars to find a way to handle that. I do think the Nyx Assassin, as long as he has a little bit of an advantage over IO and Earthshaker, can do some work, but not if they're clustered behind their tier 1 tower.
Yeah, we've already have a rotation from RisingStars. They actually came to top with the 2 smoked supports and a visible Darkseer. But in the end, LGD being careful enough and not really going for anything. And, I mean, you can't really walk head on to LGD International at the moment. You have to catch them out of position because otherwise you're going to walk into that cooldown, into that Rocket Barrage and the Flak Cannon, and you don't really want to do that. And this is, by the way, a BKB ready already up on Brax, 15 minutes in.
Yeah, Brax has had a very, very good game. There was a period in which he was basically the only person having an especially good game on the team. Now, because of the additional space generated, Puck is sort of getting into it. I think G pretty close to his Blink Dagger. I mean, it's not going to be very fast, but he will get it. And Pycat is now free farming as well. He finished his Armlet solely due to the fact that, once again, RStars can't really delve all the way down here. It's too much time, it's too much effort. So whoever happens to be in this bottom lane for LGD.int is always going to free farm. Now with this Armlet, they feel like they can jump in and get kills with the Infest combo for Puck.
Yeah, and look at what that free farm did for the Lifestealer as well. I mean, all of a sudden, he's 3rd highest on the net worth list.
Right.
Let's see what they can do in the mid lane with the infested Puck. I mean, like you said, he doesn't have his Blink Dagger just yet. He's actually going to TP top, but nobody of RisingStars is actually there. There's one on the bottom lane, which is a Darkseer. One in the jungle, which is actually the Alchemist trying to farm some extra bits and pieces as he's going for a Shadow Blade. But the other 3 were sitting mid. But maybe LGD International can try to pick up a tier 1 tower top.
Yeah, just kind of a cagey game. Neither team willing to take a full fight, I think, unless they have a massive element in their favor, like surprise. Nyx Assassin also doesn't have Vendetta. I think the key to RStars winning a fight right now is to pop one of these 2 supports very early with the Vendetta from the Nyx, and they don't have the ability to do that right now. So I don't think they're necessarily favored in a fight.
Yeah, Flecken is now already open over for Brax, though. Fortification goes out. TP comes in from the Darkseer. This tower is in the night range. They're not even going to try. They're going to go in. From the side, here comes Air. Fissure going to go down already. There's a silence up on Air. Can't do anything. Sentry Ward goes down. Nice Impale. 1437. Will get boosted down already. Infest out comes. Nice Dream Quill. And the Rocket Barrage of Flak Cannon. Brax dominating. People melting on RisingStars. 2 dead for 2. LGD International, they back behind their tower. Buyback from the Rubik.
Not actually as favorable of a trade as you maybe would expect, seeing that Gyrocopter with BKB rushing in there with all the sound and fury. They only got, what, 2, I think?
They got 2. They've got the 2 supports. They've got the Nyx Assassin and the Rubik. The rest dropped fairly low, but the mechanism is new on the Darkseer, and XDT used it, and everybody got back up again.
So RisingStars, I think they come out of that fight, if not overjoyed, at least okay. I mean, Air survives, Xiaotuji survives. He is going to go for that Shadow Blade once again, Here, I like it a little more than I did in the last game. There is some value to him rushing in with a unstable concoction charging. I think they actually can take a fight if they get the element of surprise that way. It does have some travel time, so for instance, if you use it on Gyrocopter, he's almost certainly going to BKB in flight as it hits him. But it's another way that they can set up kills on the IO and Earthshaker early in a fight, and I do like that.
Yeah, and of course, trying to burn away the BKB of Gyro was actually pretty successful. I mean, he picked it up very early, and that's awesome. One of the downsides is, I mean, progressives, we're going to have team fights at some point that are going to be worth more than the team fight is right now. And then Rax is going to sit on the 4-second BKB, perhaps. And that's actually a pretty big deal.
Yep. I'm interested in this Air Weaver build. It's kind of cool. The Urn is not something you typically see. He's clearly expecting himself to also find supports out or somebody, or just in teamfights get kills and then use the Urn. Any heals are pretty good on Weaver simply because his base health pool is so low that it's going to make a big impact. And then he's going BKB, which I also think is a pretty strong pickup here with the Earthshaker, with the Puck. BKB is going to be great to ensure that he can get through a fight, live, and be able to deal damage. It's really become nice relocate.
Oh, relocate, top. Going for the Puck. Puck already down for the Alchemist, though, but Alchemist is going to go down as well, so that's a trade in the end. Was a bit of a, really last-minute relocate, I have to say. Oh, Pike is going to get left behind. Oh, he doesn't rage before he goes, but then again, Air can't really do anything.
Air can't, yeah.
Like, Misery and Puck, or Misery and Wisp were already sitting back. Ready? Wait a second. Super, nah, he will be fine. He got open wounded, but it looks to be getting away there. But I mean, can people stop fighting? Oh, Misery's actually gonna go down. Air. Oh, wow, nice. The timing was good. The Urn charge is not gonna take Misery over because he's standing in the base, and the tier 1 tower bottom will go down. But yeah, Earthshaker and Whisper sitting in the mid lane behind the tree line, and all of a sudden, Pikecat runs himself over, jumps himself in, while the relocate was already going on. And then went top, so I had a bit of trouble following that with my camera, but yeah. Puck goes down, Alchemist goes down, Relocate gets used. I actually don't think it's too bad for RisingStars because they also got the Puck in return, but losing the Alchemist at this stage is quite painful, though he does have his Shadow Blade ready.
Yeah, I would say it's difficult to judge who's happier with that trade. LGD.int keep the Alchemist from growing. They already know that he's under-farmed relative to now, so any time you waste with him, the more stacks of Greevil's Greed he has, the more valuable it is to keep him dead. So that's definitely a good pickup for them. I would say that LGD.int would be very happy with this trade, were it not for the fact... Okay, he did get Blink Dagger. Now that he has Blink Dagger, I think it's fine. It did delay him a little bit, but not substantially.
Yeah, for a solo mid-puck, a 21-minute Blink Dagger is not really that fast. Let's see, nice Fisher coming off from the Rubik. Fatebot going through, Fisher gets returned as well. Orb flying in, looking for a kill. The Dream Call actually misses. The tower still goes down, the BKB still gets used. But they don't get a kill out of it apart from the tower. Of course, the tower did not get denied, which is nice. But they did lose the tier 1 tower bottom, so it is in the end a trade of towers. And a use of a BKB charge. And RisingStars. I think they got out ahead, if you can call that a fight.
Absolutely. I mean, they got something for nothing, basically. The something isn't very much, but nothing is even less. So the missed Dream Coil definitely hurt LGD.int there. I actually felt that the Fissure was a pretty good setup, but the Gyro's inability to sort of run in and actually finish off the players he was targeting, combined with the fact that RisingStars does have the mechanism as a result of, I mean, Darkseer being a hero that is cool, means that they just live and don't even really take any damage.
And of course, I mean, yeah, the Fissure. Started off with the Fissure of XDD. That's a brilliant spell to steal. Like, why did he pick up an Earthshaker? Mainly because of his Fissure. Because of his ability to control fights, and Fissure being a large part of that. So stealing that, well, for one, it's not too hard to steal it, because, you know, he doesn't cast that many spells. But it's a great spell to have, and it can totally disrupt LGD.int's team fight. As we saw, they just got split up and they couldn't really initiate properly anymore, and everything was kind of delayed. Puck still went for his Dream Coil, didn't hit anything with it, and yeah, that was just nicely done by RisingStars. In the meantime, though, I mean, they are the one that don't have any tier 1 towers left anymore, so what am I complaining about that they are getting ahead of fights? They're still losing towers.
Yeah, I wouldn't say RisingStars are in that great shape, simply because LGD.int is effectively farming 2 heroes. I would say that Rising Stars are only really getting very effective farm on one hero. Alchemist is starting to be a major factor, but right now, Lifestealer I would characterize as a lot more dangerous, because a lot of the Alchemist's farm is concentrated in the Shadow Blade, which is great for initiation, but so far LGD.int has been on the front foot in all the fights. So as in a duel between Lifestealer and Alchemist right now, Lifestealer will win handily.
Yep. I finished up his BKB in the meantime, so might be able to fight a little bit more. And one thing I want to check, like the BKB of Gyro is already down to 8 seconds. He used it twice. I guess it's not too much just yet, but I'm really worried for him later on in the game. When Sautuji, for example, still gets a BKB. And I mean, he'll be standing there 10 seconds while Gyrocopter, you know, 4-second BKB and you try to run out again. We have a smoke up for RisingStars. They already ping on the minimap where our G is at. And they've got nice ward placement, so they know about where he is. Of course, he is a hero that has an escape, so it's not the easiest target to go for, but they go for the non-greedy way of going for him. Impale first, leave the Vendetta for later, relocate. You still want to go in, infest out. Here comes the Earthshaker, Fisher goes down, hits upon 3, but the BKB on air is turned on, and he is able to get a kill. Io goes down, nice Echo Slam. Earthshaker gave his life for that, in comes Brack with the BKB, trying to go for XDD, was trying to orb himself out, successfully so. Darkseer wall going down. That's gonna be XCT trying to make something happen here. It's already 3-2. LGD International losing 4 right now, and Brack's the last one alive here, and this might just be a team wipe. A team wipe that only gets 2 kills for it. And this was LGD International going in well knowingly that the puck would be dead by the time the fight started.
Were it not for that excellent Echo Slam for Misery, that would have been even worse for LGD. They get the Alchemist again, and that's about the only good news that you can say for that fight. They suffered tremendous losses. Gyrocopter gets his first death of the game. It delays his next item, which looks like an MKB. And, I don't know, not a good fight, not a great relocate, although I understand why they felt it would be a good idea. RisingStars, to give them the credit they deserve, that was really good, like, everybody coming in, helping out the heroes that were targeted by the relocate. Good teamwork, and XDD surviving through that is a pretty huge deal too. This Rubik has had an amazing game. 8-3-6, almost Blink Dagger. Yeah,
and it was pretty epic. I mean, he orbed away, was out just in time, and then he came back to help kill off the Gyrocopter, of course, with the telekinesis there. It was a very nice play. He almost died for it, ended up living, and he's almost got his Blink Dagger because of that fight. And that's going to allow him to position himself more, or better, position himself better, and of course, with that, steal better spells and use them properly as well. And that's a very important item for the Rubik. And looks like Sautuji really wants to take that Roshan, but his team is a bit slow to react. But they will still go for it.
They can kill it pretty quickly. Acid Spray, good tool to reduce Roshan's armor. Just one of the many nifty little features of Alchemist's abilities. The minus armor on the Acid Spray helps his stun and helps clear out Roshan quickly. Weaver with that good single target damage and good synchrony with D-armor is going to kill this Rosh pretty fast. LGD knows, but they may be a little slow on the uptake to actually interrupt this.
Yeah, and they don't have an Echo Slam, and do they really want to try to fight? I think they should be. I mean, why not? But then again, maybe they want to just wait until Brax has got his MKB ready. And now Darkseer with a Hex, and even though they haven't seen it yet, it's still going to be a very strong tool in the next fight for RisingStars. I mean, those kind of surprises can just totally win you a team fight if your enemy hasn't seen it yet.
I think XTT has had a pretty... just the fact that he's only ever died once in the game has let him... And he's been amassing farm. I mean, he has 152 last hits on this Darkseer. This was one of the things that was interesting about VG. They basically just had 3 people actively farming everything every single game, and it seems like XTT is bringing a little bit of that flavor to RisingStars, as you basically have Weaver, Darkseer, and Alchemist farming. The one thing I would hope is that Darkseer doesn't take too much farm from the Alchemist, because it's very important for them to get more items for this guy, especially now that they've delegated Aegis to him when he barely has any items. So they don't want to take any of these Ancients. I think that would be very rude.
I agree with that.
They're just helping him clear them.
I mean, his net worth is still below that of the Lifestealer, by quite a bit as well, by 1200 gold, which is actually quite a lot indeed. Lifestealer, on the other hand, he's got himself a Bastion, that Gem of Truesight. Pyket is looking pretty okay on this Lifestealer, after, of course, having a bit of a tough start on that aggressive tri-lane. But he's been able to catch up on that safe lane later on, and definitely showing for it as well, though he has died 3 times this game. He is going to be okay I think, for the rest of this game, or at least depending, of course, on how RisingStars is planning to play their game out.
Yeah, honestly, either team could easily win this. RisingStars has a fairly convincing advantage right now, but LGD.int has, in my opinion, the slightly stronger scaling lineup, and Echo Slam, the jump-ins will never not be scary. Like, if they get a very good positioning and they catch RisingStars off guard, even in the midst of a 5v5, they can just turn a fight extremely quickly.
Yeah, in the meantime, Brax has got his MKB ready right now. Buys it, Courier will bring it towards him, and maybe with that item, actually, no. Scratch that. LGD International, they probably don't want to fight until they know that the Aegis is gone. Though they do draw a nice, pretty line on the minimap to go top. Maybe they want to surprise someone with relocate. They have to be careful though, because everybody of RisingStar is sitting next to the Alchemist, so this would be a nice trap to walk into for the IO and his relocate target.
This is the classic bait of one hero that you really want to kill and then 4 smoked. But now they see Super, they know at least 2 are here. Honestly, these almost never work out, because you know that the rest of the team is missing. So where could they possibly be other than right behind the guy who's conspicuously visible?
Yeah, and we also saw a ping coming out from Rubik, indicating exactly where LGD International is now. So they're gonna try to come in from behind. The tower already goes down. Let's see what they can do. There goes the blink, the silence, Super trying to stay alive, but already goes down as a first one. Brax turns on his BKB, call down Flak Cannon, trying to do what he can. Alchemist's Aegis will go down. Air turning on his BKB, looking to flee. Echo Slam to kill off the Darkseer. In comes Zautuji, turns on his own BKB, as that is actually a gyrocopter on the floor. And Zautuji taking a lot of damage from Pyket. BKB or not, you're getting eaten up. Lifestealer is gonna go down to the illusions coming off from the Darkseer, and Air able to still pick up the puck as well. And that is a team wipe in the end with just Air left alive. Triple kill. Weaver just been able to do his thing the whole game. Whole fight, I should say.
Yeah, and they tried to dust him, they tried to catch him multiple times, and just the Weaver mops everything up. That was actually a pretty good fight for LGD early on. They found the wraparound. I mean, the bait, they knew exactly about the bait. They knew where every single member of RisingStars was, but the fights just aren't clumped up enough right now for LGD.int to really leverage their AoE power. The puck initiation, honestly, G has really struggled this game. He is an absolutely excellent solo mid. Puck is a hero he's excelled against at before. But he's 0-4-8, and honestly, the initiation opportunities have not been that strong. He's been delivering a kill or 2 with them, but they kind of need those waning rifts to be bigger to start out a fight. And Air is now terrifying. 6-0-11. He's 3 levels higher than Gyrocopter with comparable gold per minute. I don't know. How do they deal with this Weaver? I mean, he has to be the one that they shut down. Not Alchemist, not Nyx Assassin. It's got to be Weaver dying early in fights.
Yeah, and that's the scary part about previous fight, the one on the top lane, he didn't even use his time-lapse. Wasn't needed. He just put on his BKB, ran around.
No, he lapsed. He lapsed.
No, was not on cooldown.
Really?
Yep.
Well,
maybe it was very early in the fight, in which case...
It was early in the fight. It was right at the beginning.
Okay, then I missed that. Then it would have been off cooldown again after the fight ended. Of course, only 40-second cooldown. Because he is level 20, just saying. Level 20, which is the highest level in the game, is 3 levels higher than Braxis at the moment.
Super is hunting.
He can find himself the IO if he would have, you know, the confidence.
He doesn't know how many are there.
Yeah, exactly, that he was by himself, but... Yeah, this is only a level 1 Vendetta, so it's only gonna last for a very short duration. So you can't really try to hunt too much. Try to stalk too much, either.
Smoke as well. So XDD and XTT. Huh! What a nice team name. They are smoked up. I don't know how much this is going to do. I think it's just tactics to make sure that LGD, no matter if they have wards up, are not going to catch it out. Rubik, of course, we talked about him before. He's died once since then. He does have his Blink Dagger. He's going to be doing a lot this game as well. Keep in mind that Misery still doesn't have his Blink Dagger, and he doesn't have anything like a BKB, so it's going to be fairly easy for XDD to continue stealing these Earthshaker spells and using them against LGD.
Yeah, we've saw the result of some fishes already. I mean, that's just totally disrupting the fights. And that's something that LGD kind of needs. They have got this team fight potential. And they have to put it to use, because so far, Gyrocopter, I mean, his strength is in a team fight, is just by turning on his BKB and hitting stuff with his flak cannon on, of course. And I mean, they can go for relocates as well, but not really. Like, who are they gonna kill, right? Right now, if you go for the Nyx Assassin, he can put up a Spike Carapace, can disappear, he has got a gem of his own, should be able to vanish. Or at least buy time for his team to come with the Spike Carapace and the Impale. Alchemist is not gonna go down, his Shadowblade, BKB, Chemical Rage, Rubik might be a good target. But the thing is, now that you see where your relocate is gonna happen, or where your enemy's relocate is gonna happen, he can blink himself away.
He can.
Before it starts. Darkseer has a Hex, has a Mechanism, can also buy time for his team to be there. You can't kill Air. I mean, he's got a BKB and a time lapse. He is a Weaver. It's like, who are you gonna relocate kill? It's just very tough.
The main thing with relocate, the main use of relocate here, in my opinion at this point, is you can keep 3 people together, 2 people somewhere else, and then relocate into the fight. That's what I thought IG was going to do in the game that we saw IG vs Orange. They didn't, which I thought was a little bit odd, but here they can definitely do it. I agree, Shiver, a relocate gank is probably not in the cards usually, but the Wisp can still be useful, because so far they really haven't made much of this IO, which is not to say it's completely useless, but they've struggled.
Yeah.
What did Lifestealer buy out for, by the way? Okay, a full, he finishes off his Abyssal. This is actually nice, especially if they lock the Weaver down. Keep in mind this is a Weaver with BKB. If they can kill the Weaver early in fights, that might be very good. The thing they have to watch out for, if Weaver has a lot of current gold floating, even if they kill the Weaver, he can buy back time lapse and go into the fight and maybe even still win it. So even with the Abyssal, they have to be somewhat careful.
Yeah, and of course, mainly built for him to sit inside G and then get blinked towards the target that he's gonna Abyssal. I have to say though, that IO, he is the lowest level in the game, he's level 8. Second highest is level 10. He's died 7 times, he's got normal boots and a bracer. He is very sad in terms of gold, in terms of levels. And I mean, he's a level 8 IO, which in, you know, okay, you're a support. You're almost forgiven. But Weaver is level 21. If Weaver finds 1437, 1437 is dead.
Sure. I agree. I mean, LGD.int sacrificed a tremendous amount to ensure that their gyrocopter had amazing farm. Now he does have good farm. But Alchemist will outfarm him over time. You can see that Alchemist now, for the first time in the game, has the highest net worth on the map. Brax is doing well. He's got BKB, Monkey King Bar, and Helm of the Dominator, eventually to be a Satanic. But at least for now, LGD don't feel comfortable taking a heads-up fight, and I don't think they can take a heads-up fight, unless just a tremendous amount of factors go their way.
Yeah, and they have a bit of a problem as well, LGD. They, of course, lost a gem in the previous fight. They now pick up a new one, and actually Brax is the one that ends up buying it for his team, which, you know, you can debate if that's the right choice. But they are losing map control real fast. I mean, the gem is on RisingStars, and it shows the only ward that's up for LGD is the one that he just placed. And it's already next to an observer, so if there is a Weaver, I believe, who has the gem at the moment, actually. Nyx Assassin. If the Nyx Assassin comes around, they will be able to counterward it, should there be a ranged hero as well.
Yeah. I think LGD... Oh, they smoked up all 5. Alright. With a great initiation, I could see it happening, especially if RisingStars aren't all together. I do think eventually they'll need a Cuirass to take the big 5v5 fights, because RisingStars has one.
He revealed the smoke by taking down the ward. Was it needed?
Okay, that's kind of questionable.
Yeah,
there's the Echo.
Blinking Echo.
Nice stuns.
Misery going in, super already down. Nice vacuum into the stun of Zartucci though, and that's gonna be 2 on the floor, including the puck, which is a pretty important hero to have happen. But the Dream Coil was already down, but the BKBs make it not really all too worthful anymore. Not really.
I think they lose IO. I think he comes back solo and
Yeah.
dies. It would be a mistake to bring Brax back,
Yeah.
so yeah. He will die, but it's okay.
Wow.
Not a great fight for LGD, not a terrible one. I liked the Echo Slam. Misery using his very, very recently completed Blake Dagger. The main issue with this fight is that they gave up Roshan with it.
Yeah.
They absolutely cannot contest this Roshan. I don't know. I feel they need armor. They probably need Cuirass. It wouldn't be the worst thing to also get a Vlad's. Try to lower the damage that this Weaver is doing to you a little bit. Try to lower the damage that Alchemist is doing to you.
And I mean, they were the ones to smoke up, right? LGD International, they were the ones to initiate, and they just, for a moment, it felt like Misery kind of went in before his team knew that he was gonna. with the Blink Echo. And of course, it was kind of needed the way that he did it because it was totally unexpected, and he made sure that he got the most out of it. But his team was kind of a little bit too slow, I think, with the follow-up. And they were just not ready to take a head-on-head team fight. And, I mean, that's the results also, of course, of not having those wards up. They didn't know that the entire RisingStars team was there. And if it wasn't, that would have been, of course, in a totally different fight. But it was, and they lose 3, including their puck. And right now, I mean, they're actually pretty far behind. In terms of gold, they're 12k gold behind. Experience graph goes a bit further than that. It goes towards the 16k, 17k experience. And of course, we mostly see that in the levels of the Weaver, who is level 23 at the time, at the moment. Level 18 and 17 on the 2 other cores. And you just look at this lineup of LGD International. They've got a level 20 up on the Gyro, which is definitely not bad. But the 2 other cores level 16 and level 14. And that's a big difference. In the meantime, tier 2 tower rather, goes down on the side of RisingStars. And at least they get that bit of gold.
Given that RisingStars do have a fairly significant advantage, I feel that they're maybe playing this a little more passively than they should. Like there, they really gave up a tower for nothing. They could have, at the very least, easily did a counter push and taken a tier 2 tower for a tier 2. But instead, Air is going to reach this tower much later. By that point, LGD, if they wanted to, would be able to deal a little damage to the tier 3. They don't feel quite confident enough to do that, but actually RisingStars are very split up now. If they catch out Xiao Tuji, this is an easy kill. They don't see him. That's too bad.
Well, the Infest is there on the puck. They can't find anybody anymore, and they're kind of spread out. And Brax is actually going to walk right into Air. Oh, Weaver. That's the one that he wants. 1 hit, 2 hit. Burn charge, is it gonna be enough? In comes Super, and that's gonna be the mana burn. No, actually that was still the Weaver with the last hit. The Hex, Brax, he does have his BKB. Fisher helps out, he will be able to escape. That was close though.
I think Misery is playing the best out of anybody on LGD in this game. He's had really good fissures and some pretty good Echo Slams.
The RisingStars though without the IO. Even though it's not really that threatening of a hero at the moment. Trying to pressure a bit on the tier 2. I mean, why not? They have gotten Aegis. They would probably win the fight if it goes on to a head-on fight.
Yeah, I mean, Weaver has heart. So LGD.int, I'm not sure that Brax's damage has kept up with this. He has magic immunity, he has lifesteal, but he hasn't added any more damage since the MKB. So this Weaver, I mean, if he manages to get away from a fight with Shikuchi, he hardly needs time lapse. He'll heal up his entire health pool quite quickly.
In the meantime, Nyx Assassin able to take down a tier 2. That's going to be 2 tier 2s in a very quick succession of each other. And LGD, they're stuck in their base. The only one that might not be stuck is Brax, but he'll need 1437 around him because they need to be able to relocate should a fight happen. And I think a fight might be happening fairly soon because in comes RisingStars on the bottom lane.
RisingStars, I mean, they know they have the Aegis. They have it for about 2.5 more minutes, and they want to use it. I think it's right. Why not?
Yep. I applaud it. Because I think they can. I think they can use it. I think they can get themselves a Rex. Let's see if they do, though. Infest out. They go on the Darkseer, but instantly Hex upon Pike, and there goes an Echo Slam. Misery does it again. Puck still goes down though, buys back, there goes a Lifestealer. Misery is gonna be next, and that's gonna be a double kill for Air. Brax has turned on his BKB, but it's on the way out. Everybody buying back for LGD, and that, maybe they can turn it around with those buybacks, but Brax goes down as well, buys back. Pike in the meantime, he already bought back, and he is gonna be going down. That's an the Rampage for Air. And that is Brax TPing back. In the end, we'll be able to pick up Rubik, which is nice, but he will go down again, and that's gonna be more than that's double Rampage even. That's more than just a Rex. I think this might actually be game. With no tier 2 towers.
I don't know what it was, but LGD.int, they had this this lineup that relied on initiation in the right place at the right time and targeting the right heroes. And again, I mean, you have to say they kind of came up short on it. And so RisingStars, they badly needed this win. Very, very, very badly need to beat teams like LGD for them to advance from the harder group in the bracket. And they did very well here, frankly. Air had a fantastic game.
Yeah, that means that there's all the more pressure on LGD International. I mean, they are in the star-studded group, the more star-studded than Group A, for, of course, the RedBull ECL. By the way, no GG called just yet, so they might still take this game. If they think
sorry,
they can.
was
No,
perhaps premature on my part.
Yeah, but if LGD thinks they still can, then we have to believe it too, I guess. Oh, never mind. I think I might take that back. Air feels confident.
Well, I don't know, because if Weaver loses that...
He is 13-0-13. He's got a heart, he's got a time lapse.
I'm not saying he will.
Yeah, I don't think he'll die anytime soon.
I'm just saying, if he gives that to Gyrocopter, that's a potential route back into this game.
That's true. That is very true.
I don't know. Definitely a very stylish move by RisingStars. I think Air hasn't had this much farm in a while. I mean, just look at his net worth, 24k on the Weaver at 43 minutes. Very, very nice. And the Rapier, he's going to be one-shotting just about a large part of the cast.
Yep, he's gonna try to help out his team. Here comes a relocate in. The infest out is already done. Zartucci will end up going down. Weaver, what can he do? Well, look at him. BKB turned on. Look at Brax just melting. Here, looking for the next target. 1437. Oh, that's one shot. Nice Echo Slam still coming off from Misery, though. And they will be able to pick up Super. Should be picking up Super. The Ghost have to keep Super safe a little while longer on Air and just make sure that there's nobody left alive to take him down. And that is gonna be another rampage going the way of Air with this Rapier. GG, this time called for real. LGD International will lose their first match in Group B for the Red Bull Esports Champions League. And as I just wanted to say before we saw Rapier getting picked up, they are kind of in a group where they can't really afford those kind of losses because they're against such tough teams.
Yes. I think LGD.int can rely on beating Xiaopengyo, which, no offense to Xiaopengyo,
You know, it's
but
the
they're
underdog
by
of the
far
team.
the least experienced group.
Yeah.
The team in the group. But losing to RisingStars means that you essentially must beat one of DK, Tongfu, or what's the other team in the group? I'm blanking. Rattlesnake. LGD and Rattlesnake, I believe they're fairly even historically, so that's definitely a winnable matchup. But it's definitely become harder for them, and it's become a much better position for RisingStars. Gotta give it up, I think, both for... Honestly, no, I think a lot of players on RisingStars had good games. I thought Rubik had an excellent game,
Yeah.
XDD. XTT did exactly the right things as Darkseer and managed to get a ton of farm. Very early Scythe really screwed with LGD&'s plans. And, I mean... 18-0-13 Weaver.
Yeah, and overall just good synergy, just to be able to disrupt the fights that LGD tried to take, and, you know, winning the fight in the end. Even when the fight started out going the way of LGD International, they're still able to at least get themselves the fight back, or at least make them trade. And normally it was more beneficial trade for RisingStars. But we are going to see more matches. I think a match that a lot of people have been waiting for as well. We'll see LGD, this time the China version, taking on Orange. And I say this, and I know that we're very far behind schedule, so I'm not 100% sure if all the matches get played today, but on schedule it would be Orange versus LGD. So stick around for more RedBull ECL. Sorry, RedBull ECL. Wow, that's gonna be very terrible for me. But anyways, jump ourselves out of this match, and we'll be back soon.